What's the worst thing someone's accused you of? About 6 years ago, when I was 24, I got accused of something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. A girl I barely knew said I drugged her. To understand how that even happened, I have to take you back a bit. I was in my second year of grad school, working part-time at a bookstore, and I'd just gotten out of a toxic relationship. I wasn't looking for anything serious, and honestly, I was just trying to keep my head above water with classes, work, and life. There was a coffee shop across the street from the bookstore that I went to religiously. They knew my order before I even walked in. Medium cold brew, splash of oat milk, no sugar. It was like my little pocket of calm. That's where I first saw her. Let's call her Maya. Obviously not her real name. She was always with a group of people I assumed were other students. Loud laugh, striking features, and always reading weird horror novels. We locked eyes a few times, just casual glances. Then one day she sat next to me. Started talking about the book I was reading, Stephen King's Misery. Ironically, we talked for hours that day. Not flirting, not heavy, just vibing. That's the best way I can describe it. She was funny, sharp, and had this wild intensity that made you lean in. Over the next few weeks, we kept bumping into each other. Eventually exchanged numbers. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't into her like that. I was still reeling from my last relationship, and Maya seemed chaotic in a way I couldn't handle back then. But we kept texting. Hanging out low-key. Once or twice, she came by the bookstore during my shift, left weird little doodles in the margins of the books she browsed. It was kind of cute, I won't lie. There was a moment, a night at a bar with mutuals, where we danced, got a little handsy. We kissed. That's when things started to turn. The day after that kiss, she ghosted me. No replies, nothing. I assumed I'd misread the signals. No big deal. But about 2 weeks later, I was called into the university's campus police office. They sat me down, real serious, and said Maya had filed an incident report. She claimed I'd invited her to my apartment for drinks, slipped something into her cup, and that she'd blacked out and woke up feeling wrong. I swear to you on everything, that never happened. She'd never even been to my apartment. We kissed once. That's it. No sex, no touching beyond that night at the bar. I was stunned, sick to my stomach. The university launched a Title IX investigation. I got suspended from campus pending results. Word spread fast. Some people I thought were friends, stopped talking to me. Others sent me vague, hope you get the help you need messages. My ex even texted to say, I always knew you were off. Couldn't eat. I lost weight. I stopped sleeping. What broke me the most was the doubt. Not in me, in everyone else. No one wanted to be associated with someone who might be a predator. Even the people who said they believed me were suddenly distant. My job at the bookstore paused me indefinitely. I had to move back in with my parents an hour away, just to stay afloat. The investigation took months. They eventually found no evidence. No texts or messages indicating anything like what Maya described. Security footage from the bar showed her leaving with her friends. Completely coherent. No trace of her ever being at my apartment. My door swipe logs backed me up. Eventually, the case was dismissed. But no one really cared about the outcome. The accusation stuck harder than the truth ever could. Even now, if you Google my name, the old college newsletter archive still has a blurb about a student suspended under Title IX review. No follow-up, no retraction. And Maya? She never faced any consequences. She posted vague poetry on Instagram for a while. Moved cities. Last I heard, she's working in wellness coaching or something. Sometimes I still see her face in my nightmares. I've never told the full story before. Just pieces. I still get scared someone's going to find this and somehow know it's me. But I'm tired of pretending it didn't happen. That accusation cost me everything. Friends. Work. School. My sense of safety. And worst of all, it made me terrified of ever getting close to anyone again. I'm not looking for pity. I just want someone, anyone, to know the truth. About a year after the accusation, my life was still in pieces. I wasn't in school anymore. I dropped out after they reinstated me. Yeah, they technically cleared me, but when you walk into a campus where people stare at you like you're radioactive, it doesn't feel like being cleared. My professors acted weird. The bookstore never offered me my job back. And even the dean just gave me this tight, polite smile when I bumped into him. So I left, moved cities, changed my number, started using my middle name instead of my first. Basically erased the old version of myself. And I didn't hear anything from Maya. Not a peep. Not a message. Not an apology. Until one day, out of nowhere, I got a letter. Yes, a literal letter. In the mail. Postmarked from the same city I just moved to. No return address. Just my name, the one I used before, and my old P.O. box from when I lived near campus. I hadn't closed it yet because, honestly, I forgot it existed. I almost threw it away. Thought it was spam. But then I opened it. And when I saw the handwriting on the inside, loopy, rushed, inconsistent, I knew exactly who it was from. It was Maya. Here's a summary of what the letter said. I'm not copying it word for word, but I could recite it from memory at this point. She started off by saying she didn't know what she wanted to accomplish by writing me. She said she'd been in therapy, working through a lot of trauma from her past, and that something snapped the night we kissed. She said she didn't plan to accuse me. She just couldn't shake the feeling that something had happened. She went on about her childhood, about things she never told anyone, about how that night triggered some memory she thought she'd buried. She admitted, in her own careful, deflective way, that she now believed I didn't do what she accused me of. But she never actually said the words, "I lied," or "I'm sorry." What she did say was, "I think I projected something onto you that wasn't yours to carry." And then, "I don't expect forgiveness, but I hope you find peace." That sentence made me want to throw the letter into the ocean. Because peace? What peace was there left to find? She burned down my reputation, my education, my friendships, and now she wanted closure? What really hit me, though, what haunts me, was the last line, "I still think about you. Sometimes I wonder if things would have been different if we met later in life. You're the only person who really saw me." I read that last part probably 50 times. At first I was furious, then confused, then furious again. What the hell was that supposed to mean? Was that her idea of romance? Redemption? A twisted attempt to reconnect? I never wrote back. I never told anyone I got the letter. Not even my parents, who were still dealing with the emotional fallout of watching their son get torn apart by whispers and legal jargon. But I kept it. I don't know why. It's still folded in a fireproof lockbox under my bed. I thought about bringing it to the university, showing it to someone, maybe trying to clear my name officially. But honestly, I didn't want to relive it again. That letter felt like Maya's way of checking the box. Like, oops, false accusation, my bad. Hope therapy's going well. And that was it. She got to move on. She had the final word. And I'm still here, trying to figure out how the hell you rebuild a life when one person's words nearly destroyed it. I've told myself I forgave her, but the truth? I don't think I ever will. It was 2 years after the letter. By then, I'd started over. New job, new apartment, new social circle. I was going by a nickname, and no one in my life knew what had happened to me back in grad school. I buried it so deep that I almost believed it had happened to someone else. And then Emily walked into my life. Emily was someone I met through work. Not in a romantic way, just another person in the same industry, attending networking events, overlapping circles, that kind of thing. We clicked fast. She was sharp, no BS, and had a sense of humor as dark as mine. It was one of those friendships that felt instantly solid. One night after a work happy hour, we ended up at a late-night diner, talking about our early 20s, dumb decisions, people we used to know. She mentioned going to college in the same state I had. I froze for a second but didn't say anything. Then she said Maya's name, just casually, like it was no big deal. She said something like, "I used to be close with this girl Maya back in undergrad. Total mess but magnetic as hell. We were inseparable for a year and then, effed, gone." It was like the air got sucked out of the room. By this point, I'd started to feel almost human again. I had a new job, a small apartment with a coffee machine that didn't leak. A girl I was casually seeing who didn't look at me like I had secrets etched into my skin. I was doing therapy, journaling, even learning how to cook. Well, mostly just not burning pasta. Progress. And then, out of nowhere, I got a DM on Instagram from someone named Sasha. I didn't recognize the name at first, but her profile picture clicked something in my brain. She used to hang around Maya, back when all that shit was happening. The message was short. "Hey, I know this is random, and you probably hate anyone from that time, but can we talk? It's about Maya." I just stared at the message. My mouth went dry. I hadn't seen or heard Maya's name in nearly 2 years. I didn't respond right away. I waited a few days, but curiosity and anxiety tag-teamed me until I couldn't ignore it anymore. I finally wrote back, "Yeah, go ahead." She replied within minutes. Said she didn't want to say everything over DM. Asked if we could talk on the phone. Said she felt like she owed me something. Against my better judgment, I gave her my number. Sasha called the next day. Her voice was quiet, like she was afraid someone else might be listening. She didn't waste time. "I should have come to you sooner," she said. "I just didn't know how to, or if you'd even want to hear it." Turns out Sasha and Maya had fallen out shortly after the accusation. Sasha said she never fully believed Maya, but things had been weird in their friend group for a long time. Sasha told me that Maya had a history, pattern, that I wasn't the first guy she'd made accusations against. I wasn't even the second. I felt my whole body go cold. Apparently, back in high school, Maya had accused a teacher of being inappropriate. No official complaint was filed, but the guy transferred schools the following semester. Another guy, a friend of Sasha's older brother, was accused of stalking her. That one nearly blew up into a restraining order before Maya admitted she'd exaggerated. Sasha said that back when Maya accused me, a few of their friends questioned the story immediately. Things didn't line up. Maya was vague, dodgy about the details. When the investigation fizzled, and I wasn't expelled or charged, she started changing her version of the events. First, she said maybe I didn't mean to drug her. Then it was that she blacked out emotionally, not physically. Then came the kicker. She told me, Sasha said slowly, that she thought if she said something extreme, you'd have to take her seriously, that you'd come running, that you'd realize you messed up. I didn't say anything. Couldn't. My ears were ringing. She admitted it wasn't true, but by then, it was too late. She said she just wanted you to feel what she felt, like you had power over her. I had to sit down. I was literally shaking. She ruined my life to teach me a lesson? I asked. Sasha didn't answer right away. Then she said the one honest thing anyone had said to me in years. I think she wanted to matter to someone, even if it meant destroying them. Sasha said she wanted me to know the truth, that she wasn't looking for forgiveness or redemption or anything like that. She just didn't want to carry it anymore. We hung up after that. I stared at the wall for a long time. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there and thought about how small the truth felt. After all that damage. After the months of isolation, the lost friendships, the shame, the therapy bills. After the humiliation of having to explain to my parents that no, I wasn't the monster someone said I was. The truth was, Maya wanted to hurt me on purpose. And she got away with it. I haven't heard from Sasha since. Never tried to contact her again. She dropped that weight off her shoulders and walked away. I don't blame her. I'd do the same. But now I had one last question rattling around in my head. What do you do when someone shatters your life, and the world just keeps spinning like nothing happened? It was last Tuesday. I was at a cafe in the city, waiting for a friend I hadn't seen in years. He was late, as usual, so I ordered my drink and found a seat by the window. I was scrolling my phone, half listening to the music playing overhead, some acoustic cover of a pop song I didn't recognize, when I felt it. That weird gut sensation, the feeling like you're being watched or maybe remembered. I looked up, and there she was, Maya. She was standing by the counter, waiting for her coffee. Same intense eyes, same half smile she always wore like armor. Her hair was shorter. She looked healthy, comfortable, like someone whose life had moved on. And she saw me. She froze just for a second. Her eyes widened, like she couldn't quite believe it was me. Then just like that she smiled. Not in a sorry kind of way. Not nervous. Not ashamed. Just a casual, polite smile. Like we were old co-workers who hadn't seen each other since college. And she walked over. I swear my body went into autopilot. My hands clenched under the table. My legs tensed. My mind started spinning with every version of what this interaction could become. Confrontation, apology, denial, screaming, scene. I was ready for anything, except what actually happened. She leaned slightly toward me and said, calm as ever, wow, it's been a while. You look good. That's it. Just that. No mention of the past. No recognition of what she did. No hint of the wreckage she left behind. I didn't say anything. Couldn't. I just stared at her like I was looking at a ghost I wasn't sure I believed in. She held eye contact for a second longer, then took her drink and walked out the door. Gone. Just like that. My friend showed up 20 minutes later, found me pale and silent. I didn't even tell him what happened. What was I supposed to say? Hey, remember that girl who falsely accused me of drugging her and ruined my life? I just saw her again. She said I look good. It's been a week and I still feel like I'm floating somewhere outside my body. Not angry, not sad, just numb. Because that smile, that small talk, that was Maya confirming what I already knew deep down. She never thought what she did was a big deal. She's out there living her life. Drinking lavender lattes, dating, thriving, while I'm still in therapy trying to remember who I was before I stopped trusting people. I know I'm supposed to believe in healing, growth, forgiveness, but some things just stay with you. Like the look in someone's eyes when they smile at you like they didn't destroy you. People always talk about justice like it's this neat package you get when something bad happens. But here's the truth. Sometimes the worst thing someone can do to you is get away with it. And sometimes the only closure you'll ever get is knowing you survived it anyway. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.